So, when you think of Superman's greatest foes, you probably think of raw physical strength, right? But get this, one of his most terrifying villains isn't just a person, he's a concept. We are talking about Mongul, a tyrant who is, and I mean this literally, a rule made real. Okay, just start with this question. Just imagine for a second. Every single limitation, every dogma, every single rule that tells you no. What if all of that could just coalesce, stand up, and look you right in the eye? And believe me, this isn't just some philosophical game. In the Warworld saga, this is the entire premise behind the villain. That abstract, thou shalt not, is given a terrifying physical form. So how in the world do you turn a rule into an actual character? Well, that brings us right to our first section, an idea made flesh. Okay, so the key to all of this is that term you see right there, made flesh. And they mean it. An oppressive idea, a philosophical barrier is actually given a body, a mind, a real physical presence. It's the ultimate version of an ideology that you have to physically fight. You know, Mongul isn't just some generic evil warlord. Nope. He is the walking, breathing embodiment of every external rule that says you can't grow. He's every unquestionable dogma that resists change. He is the cold, fixed truth of limitation itself. So, with that in mind, let's properly meet the Titan himself, Mongul, because this is where the story really becomes a kind of Nietzschean parable. The source material actually frames this whole story as a Nietzschean parable, which, put simply, is a story that explores the struggle to overcome limitations and create your own meaning. And in that context, Mongul isn't just a king or a dictator. He is the Titan, this immense, immovable force of nature, something ancient and just fundamental. And this quote just illustrates the idea so perfectly. Spiritual coagulation. I mean, think about that for a second. The human spirit, it's supposed to be fluid, dynamic, always changing, right? Mongul's very existence causes it to coagulate, to thicken, to stagnate, to literally freeze into solid dogma. So what does a being like this actually believe? What's his ideology? That brings us to the very core of his power, the philosophy of stasis. Mongul's power actually has a name, stasis, but it's not a superpower like heat vision or flight. No, it's a philosophical force of absolute, unchanging order. It's described as the crushing weight of the spirit of gravity, which was the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche's term for all those forces like tradition and dogma that pull us down and stop us from evolving. And he puts this whole philosophy into practice on his gladiatorial planet, Warworld. He's built something called an enforced utopia. And what's so absolutely chilling about it is that it's a tyranny that doesn't need any passion or anger or any emotion at all. It just is. It's perfect order for the sake of order. And right here, this is the cost of that perfect, passionless order. The very life force of the people living under his rule is just snuffed out. It becomes like dust. Dry, stagnant, completely disconnected from anything that actually makes life worth living. It's horrifying. So all of this sets the stage for the ultimate conflict. But this is not just going to be a fist fight. It's what the story calls the nihilist's gambit. Okay, this slide right here lays out the entire philosophical war, and it's brilliant. On one side, you've got Superman, who is framed as the new Ubermensch, Nietzsche's idea of a person who overcomes himself and creates his own values. He's all about the will to power, striving, growth, and freedom. And then there's Mongul. He is the great no. He is stasis, solidified dogma, immovable truth. It is the ultimate unstoppable force meeting the ultimate immovable object. So what's Mongul's actual plan here? It's a bet, it's a wager. He's betting that when Superman finally arrives, back at his full, incredible power, the temptation to just take control, to take the easy path of the tyrant and enforce order by force, is going to be too much to resist. And this right here is the absolute crucial point. Mongul doesn't win by killing Superman. He wins the second Superman violates his own code of restraint. The moment Superman decides that absolute enforcement is the only way, Mongul has won. He's proven his entire point. And that is exactly why he can just wait. He doesn't even have to act. His very existence is the challenge. He is the solidified dogma, just sitting there on his throne, simply daring the free-flowing spirit of a hero like Superman to break itself against him. So, after breaking down this incredible philosophical battle, let's just wrap things up with why it matters so much.
First, you have to understand this. For all the punches that are going to be thrown, this is not a battle to the death.
No, it's a battle for Superman's soul. It's a fight over the very meaning of power, the meaning of freedom, and what it really truly means to be a hero. Which leaves us with this one final thought. How do you possibly defeat an enemy whose only path to victory is for you to become just like him? What does winning even look like when the fight itself is the ultimate trap?